Hello everyone, it's me. And see, I told you it wouldn't be another 4 months from the last video. I didn't leave for the beer this time. Yet. But, moving on to the topic at hand, today's video I'm going to be responding to another commentary channel known as Communist Creeper, and that is where the similarities both start and stop, because my god, he has got to be one of the weirdest and dumbest commentary channels I've seen. And for those that are unaware, I'll try to summarize him up as a left-leaning commentary response channel who constantly focuses on some kind of political angle whenever covering other people or dramas. But that's just the impression he's left me with after briefly viewing his channel. I'd like to add that up until this video of his I'm responding to, I haven't really watched much of his channel, and for the most part, he just flew under my radar until now, because goddamn has this one video highlighted just how dumb and uninformed Communist Creeper really is. And so, I'm surprised I never sought out and tore into his channel any sooner. So, the video I'm responding to today is titled Acheeto and the Far-Right Commentary, which, with a title like that, you just fucking know we're gonna be in for a doozy of a video. Now, I'm not really too familiar with Acheeto's content either, never really heard of him much up until this video, where one of my friends told me that he's another commentary channel not too different from myself, and after watching this abortion of a video by Communist Creeper, it could not be more apparent how much he's trying to blow out of proportion the things Acheeto is saying, and paint an incredibly toxic picture of Acheeto as a result, which Communist Creeper seems to be completely obsessed with after briefly searching up Acheeto's name on their channel. So, despite the fact that the video I'm responding to is 10 months old, I still feel like it's very response-worthy given what I've seen and how obsessed he's been. So, how about we just see this for ourselves and stop delaying this, huh? Let's just go ahead and dive right into this.
Hey everyone, Creeper here. Today we're going to be talking about my favorite reactionary commentator, Acheeto. Also, something really cool about this video Acheeto made is that all the clips of people from the LGBTQ+ community come from libs of TikTok and from this Twitter account that has been known to get bomb threats sent to children's hospitals for supporting trans people. So it's really good to know who Acheeto stands with.
So, 20 seconds in, and there's a few things wrong that I already need to dig into. First off, Creeper, what even is your mic quality? And you've done YouTube for how long? Like, the fuck? Just get better at this, please. Also, what the fuck is this B-roll? I mean, Jackbox, man? Please, just get a better mic and use some better B-roll. Now, to address your actual points, you show no evidence about said bomb threats at all, and I had to research them myself just to confirm them, but it would help to put evidence of that in your own video, you know? Which you didn't do either for your claims of Acheeto supporting said bomb threats. I mean, the only quote proof to your claim is the fact that Acheeto used some clips, I guess? Which means he must automatically and blindly agree 100% with the opinions of whoever he got said clips from. I mean, seriously, how much more jaded can you be to automatically assume that he has to 100% agree with whoever or wherever he obtained said clips from?
Now, Acheeto could play ignorant, but Acheeto, there you go. Play ignorant, but Acheeto, there you go. I just told you that you shouldn't be supporting libs of TikTok for what they've done, so stop supporting them. There you go.
Well, the fucking what? Did we just... I feel like there was either something there you recorded and then cut out, or you just completely forgot to record it altogether. Either way, it feels like there's definitely some commentary here that we are missing. And like I already said, you're making a baseless assumption that Acheeto supports those actions or bomb threats or whatever you think he's actively standing with. It's beyond jaded and tribalistic to believe he supports all that simply from using some clips from a specific channel, dude.
Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video.
Why? Not only are you incapable of balancing audio between your videos, but do you have to add this obscenely annoying chipmunk pitch for all of their segments? Like, I'm sorry to my audience because I fucking hate this. Like, it's bad enough when I speed shit up. I don't know why you do this for everyone you respond to, but no. I'm gonna try reversing all of it for the sake of my video. I don't care if it's more work, because this is just fucking insufferable.
So I feel like the average person that watches my videos is anywhere from like 8th grade to college, you know, pretty wide range of people who watch my stuff, but like 90% 99% of the people that watch my stuff have experiences with teachers, you know, either good ones, bad ones, or ones that you don't think too strongly about. For me, I think I had a pretty healthy mix growing up. I had some teachers I really liked, some teachers I hated, and some teachers that, you know, just kind of were there. But I gotta say, I am worried for this future generation, okay? Because there's this thing going on right now where teachers are posting on TikTok, like, all these things that happen in their classrooms, and they talk about, like, you know, the things that they do as teachers. And bro, these teachers are weird, man. Like, what is going on? Like, I see these TikToks of these weird-ass teachers, and I think, oh man, thank God I had some normal teachers growing up. Like, even if I didn't like them, at least they weren't doing this sort of stuff. Now, I don't want to get into these specifics because we're gonna get there in a second, but, like, just prepare yourself because this is gonna be some oddball activity, and yeah, just leave a like on this video. I think that this video is gonna be one that might get some pushback. I am predicting that I'm gonna get comments saying something like, well, these teachers, they're just expressing themselves, and that's okay. And yeah, we're just gonna see why that's just not what's exactly happening here, but yeah, I don't want to spoil it, so let's get into it.
Green said to make a channel intro video, so here's mine. Hi, I'm Mr. K, and I'm a music teacher on Outschool. I teach all age ranges from 3 years old to 18 years old, and I focus on all different aspects of music, how to make it, how to enjoy it, what impact it might have on our society.
Okay, so far, this could be a totally normal teacher, you know, he cares about what he's teaching, he enjoys teaching, you know, his students like what he's teaching. This guy could be a great teacher.
But you might notice Mr. K only makes up about half this channel. Hi, I'm Miss B, and I'm the drag queen music teacher on Outschool.
I'm out, goodbye.
Acheeto, what is wrong with someone dressing in drag? There's literally nothing wrong with some man wearing makeup and wearing a dress. This literally just comes from fear-mongering going on in the world currently. The LGBTQ+ community is under fire for no good reason, and Acheeto makes money by going along with the fear-mongering.
Fucking fear-mongering. Oh my, honey, that is just fucking rich. Alright. Now I could understand thinking Acheeto is overreacting if he didn't cut his clip short, but in context with the rest of his video, there's more to it than just this reaction. But Communist Creeper just takes this reaction at face value to claim he's fear-mongering the LGBTQ. I mean, maybe actually let him make his point instead of immediately painting him as negatively as possible, you fucking idiot.
Goodbye, Acheeto channel. Have a good day. Why is this a normal thing in our society? What benefit does this bring to society? You know, forget society. Yo, what benefit does this bring to the musical classroom?
There's literally nothing wrong with men dressing in drag. People, a lot of the time, like to claim that drag queens are undressing in front of children, but if anything, people in drag usually wear more clothes than other people do. But I guess men just can't wear dresses for some reason that will never be stated. Acheeto just assumes that everyone agrees with him that they're icky and gross.
No. If anyone has assumed anything, it is your assumption about Acheeto hating the LGBTQ. I mean, for fuck's sakes, I'm bi, and I don't see an issue with his point here, which, if you would actually listen, he isn't just directing vitriol at this individual because they're a drag queen. He was asking a legitimate question, and one that I can understand. That being, what benefit does any of it bring to the classroom, let alone one filled with literal children? But you don't see that, and instead just continue trying to demonize him at every turn.
Alright, let me just fully break this down, okay? So this guy's saying he loves to teach music, he's a music teacher, he teaches all ages. That part is fine, that part's actually very good. I like a teacher who cares about what they're teaching, that's dope. But then for some oddball reason, this guy basically just reported that he sometimes shows up to his classroom dressed up like a girl, and he pretends to be a girl while he teaches the classroom.
Children probably wouldn't care of someone dressing in drag unless, like, their parents would tell them that it's bad for men to wear dresses, which clearly Acheeto was told that growing up. Also, drag queens don't pretend to be girls, they're just men who dress up in dresses and makeup.
I just love how he jumps past Acheeto's actual points to make a bunch of his own that don't substantiate anything or just states the fucking obvious. I mean, Acheeto primarily was asking what benefit does this have. The rest was just his explanation of the situation, which you sadly attempt to twist against him. Now sure, you can fall back on the argument that children won't care, but that's honestly fucking dumb. Kids don't care about a lot of things until they're taught what they fully mean.
So there's a lot I want to say here, but the clip is not finished yet, so I'm gonna let it play out in its entirety.
Most of my classes are for learners ages 3 through 9. I mostly teach music and story time, where we read a couple picture books and sing some songs about the stories we read. And I also teach some music classes like Miss B's Musical Adventure. So I get asked a lot, why be a drag queen music teacher? Why not just be a music teacher? And there's two big reasons behind that. Number one, drag is fun.
Pause. I know I said I'd let the whole clip play, but bro, we have to talk about that. So this guy likes to do drag, which is the fact that he dresses up like a girl and roleplays being a girl. So he does it in his classroom in front of little kids because it is, quote, fun.
What's wrong with men being in makeup and in dresses in front of little children? There's nothing harmful about this unless you think children seeing members of the LGBTQ+ community is inherently harmful. This is literally just fear-mongering. This is fear-mongering coming from the far right, and Acheeto is just using the exact same points and logic as them.
Again with the fear-mongering bullshit when you've completely missed his point. I feel like I'll be repeating myself a lot in this video because of Communist Creeper. Regardless, he continues assuming Acheeto's stance here, but in context with Acheeto's question, and the added context that these are literally 3 to 9-year-old kids, I can understand where he's going with this. And arguing that it's just fun to do is, not really the best answer as to why, especially in the classroom of all fucking places. I know, I'd rather kids get an education than dress in drag. How shocking.
This guy gets pleasure out of seeing little kids look at him when he's dressed up as a girl. Did that sentence make you uncomfortable? Well, it should, because you never had that growing up. I never had that growing up.
Acheeto is trying to make this man out to be some sort of predator for wearing a dress.
I'm sorry, what?
No? The fuck? You were reading that into this conversation. Why are you reading that into this? This still doesn't invalidate Acheeto's point that it's a little weird to bring to the classroom of all places. He's not making the guy out to be a predator, just painting the reality of the situation that is a bit fucking weird in context.
If you are uncomfortable by a person wearing a dress, it is likely just because you were taught that men should not wear dresses. Oh, how scary, a dress. Also, just because you didn't grow up or something doesn't make it bad.
No shit.
What kind of point is that? Some people grew up with segregation, so I guess that's just good. Some people grew up with slavery, I guess it's just good.
That is one of the worst points you've made thus far. Talk about red herrings, dude. His point wasn't whether you grow up with something or not dictates if it's good or bad. It's that he never saw that type of shit in school. Literally, I didn't either. I never grew up with that shit in school, and if I did, I'd have a right to be weirded out by it. And no, that isn't because I was taught that it's wrong. I mean, dude, I literally date a femboy. It's not like I was raised to believe otherwise, but when anyone has a mildly different view than your own creeper, you immediately demonize them as much as possible.
We didn't have to wonder what gender our teacher would show up looking like. He says it makes the class fun. Well, I gotta say, the kids probably are confused more than anything. I mean, you said you're teaching 3-year-olds? Like, oh my god. A little bit of Acheeto lore here. I was a late talker. I didn't really start speaking full sentences until I was 4 years old, which I think is actually kind of ironic because now I speak for a living, basically. But I bring that up to show you how young 3-year-olds are. When you're 3, you have your mom and your dad, they raise you, they fulfill a specific role in bringing you up. But if you're going to this music class and you see somebody who looks like your dad one day, and then he looks like your mom the other day, that's gonna like mess up your perception of what exactly male and females are. And depending on the kid's own gender, right? If there's a young boy looking at this teacher who's a male one day and a female the next day, or, you know, not actually a female the next day, but, you know, dressing up like a female the next day, that kid being as young as he is might be getting some confusion as to who he is.
It's a good thing they're in school so they could learn things. It's almost like that's what you go to school for.
Oh my god, no. Creeper, what the fuck? Like, seriously, you cannot be that fucking stupid. Again, with the aforementioned context of these kids being 3 to 9 years old, and you think, well, they're already in school, that's where you learn in regards to dressing in drag and anything that pertains to it. I think at that point you should be on a watch list, dude. Like, dog, that is not the appropriate age to be learning about any of that stuff. I'd rather a 5-year-old learn how to read and write than what the fuck a drag queen is at that age. Like, Jesus, I didn't think that needed to be explained to anybody.
Of course, Acheeto wants people to go to school to be propagandized into things he believes in. If a child is confused, just explain it to them. It's not bad to teach children things. Of course, Acheeto wants people to stay ignorant because he's ignorant. Also, I find it funny that this guy is against confusing children in a school setting. School, a place where you learn things. Acheeto is just against learning. He doesn't want people to learn because he doesn't want them to be smart because he's not smart.
My god, you really do think that a 5-year-old should be learning about drag. Oh, holy shit, How? How do people like you even exist? I mean, Acheeto is right. I don't want my kids to be confused over this when they should be learning how to read, write, and do their multiplication tables. Advocating for a damn 5-year-old to be confused in a classroom over gender is just how? How do you even function?
But let's push all of those aside for a second. Let's just look at this as if there's no consequences to it. Teacher shows up some days doing drag, and while he's in drag, he talks like a girl to his students, right? Okay, let's assume there's absolutely no downside to that existing. What exactly does it bring to the classroom? Like what is the benefit of it?
What does it bring to the classroom? Well, it's quite simple. It brings inclusion. If you're growing up and you find out you are a member of the LGBT+ community, knowing someone who is also a member of the community can help you feel safer and help you feel more accepted.
You're talking about inclusion in fucking school. School, where you're forced to show up and are included either way. Also school, where you show up and everyone bullies each other regardless of why. Like, I don't know if it's just me, or if motherfuckers these days are just way softer than I was growing up, but we never whined about inclusion in a fucking school setting. We all just wanted to fuck off and leave as soon as possible. Again, this also doesn't answer Acheeto's question very well, because dressing in drag adds nothing to a child's actual curriculum. Inclusion in school has gotta be the saddest answer I've heard.
It doesn't enhance the way you teach. You're not teaching better material now that you're dressed as a girl.
Your clothes don't matter at all when it comes to teaching as long as you follow the dress code. Who cares? Sure, it doesn't make you teach better, but wearing a suit doesn't make you teach better. Your point? Yeah, if this teacher is wearing drag, it brings no material, so therefore it's not harmful.
Jesus Christ, Creeper finds a way to dance around and twist every point that Acheeto makes. Sure, dressing that way doesn't make you teach any better or worse, but you keep missing his point and all of the context. He's talking about how it doesn't benefit their curriculum whatsoever and only adds more confusion to the classroom for the child, when they should be focused on their studies. And before you say they can just learn about it in school, we're talking about teaching drag to kids who haven't even started puberty yet. Like I said, this ain't the right age to start teaching that shit, pal.
It's not going to make the kids care about learning more. It's not going to make the kids more focused. It's just going to be a distraction. So I'm literally only seeing downsides to this. I'm not seeing a single benefit.
Big reasons behind that. Number one, drag is fun, and learning should be fun, and so much of our current education system has completely taken that out of the equation.
Yeah, I disagree. The teachers I had growing up were actually, like, pretty good at making the classroom fun. Like, especially in middle school, we were doing Kahoots, we were doing fun group projects, we would watch movies in class sometimes, you know, like, I don't really think that my mid-50s male teachers, who were all fathers, you know, dressing up like girls to come to class and teach would have made the classroom more fun.
Acheeto, please just admit you don't like trans people, drag queens, and anyone who doesn't fit your gender norm ideals.
The man literally explained how he only sees downsides to this and went on to give his own anecdotes of growing up to elaborate on those downsides. Motherfucker, you cannot just interject and ignore all of his points by saying, duh, you just hate anyone that doesn't fit your gender norms, you absolute fucking troglodyte.
I think what this guy is trying to say is that doing drag is fun for him.
Apparently you can just not ever have fun when you are doing work.
Not when that fun is possibly disruptive to your work, or when it's being prioritized over said work, both of which are literally a part of Acheeto's point, which you just cannot seem to grasp any concept, no matter how simple, when they go even slightly against your ideals.
Okay, it's not fun for the class, it's fun for him.
And so much of our current education system has completely taken that out of the equation. The second reason is because I didn't have queer teachers growing up. I didn't have queer teachers, I didn't have queer professors, I didn't have queer professionals in my life because they were all dead, largely ignored by the government and the society that they were supposed to be a part of. I want to make sure that the generations that are coming up now get the chance to see visibly queer teachers in professional space so that they know that being queer and being whatever is absolutely okay. Thanks for watching, make sure to follow, bye!
Alright, so we got a lot to talk about here. So obviously, first of all, I feel like I don't have to say this, but I'll say it anyway. Don't send hate to this guy. It's not worth it. I think I can criticize people and have a civil, conversation without there being, like, unnecessarily bad outcomes. I feel like this can be productive. So the main reason why he gives as to why he does this is because he didn't have visibly queer teachers growing up. But I have to ask now, did you need visibly queer teachers growing up?
If you're growing up with more diverse people around you, you will learn more about the world. And clearly you needed this growing up because you have no idea what you were talking about. And all you do is push the same agenda that the far right is pushing in America.
This is usually why I try to avoid these kind of discussions on my channel, because of course, more politics is always involved. Oh, Acheeto bad, he's the far right of America, because I don't agree with him. Just please grow the fuck up already. Let me spell this out as simply as I can. As someone who is also bi, I did not need a drag queen teacher growing up to feel inclusive or properly learn these things, especially at that age. Acheeto has a valid point, and all you can do is hurl petty, insufferable ad hominems at him. Goddamn, do I hate your fucking video.
Like, from the age range that you teach, right? 3 to 9 years old. When you were 3 to 9 years old, did you need to see, like, a gay teacher with a rainbow shirt and rainbow sandals and rainbow everything to feel safe in the classroom? Like, that's a serious question. I'm gonna have to say the answer is probably no. On top of that, why would any sexuality need to be quote-unquote visible in a classroom?
It's literally just to help children understand the world around them. You are literally just scared of them learning.
Please let him finish his fucking point, retard, because you seem to keep missing it, cutting him off entirely, or twisting what he says every goddamn time. I mean, if you listened, I very much agree with him here. No sexuality needs to be represented in the classroom, especially of that age group, unless you are learning about sex ed, which these kids are definitely too young for, which even then, that's a topic for another day. So why should this be made an exception?
Unless you're talking about sex ed, like, I get that. But especially when you're talking about, like, what do you say, 3 to 9 year olds? Why do we have to have visible sexualities? That's fucking weird!
He's clearly trying to make this sound like it's a sexual thing. In short, no, it's not sexual. It's not inherently a kink. It's not inherently bad. It can be, but clearly this person's just wearing makeup. What is wrong with that?
Communist Creeper, we are talking about someone's sexuality and gender identity. You know what the root word of sexuality is, right? Sex. You know why someone appears as a different gender, right? Their sexual identity. So yes, it is inherently sexual, you dense fucking cabbage, and none of it is important for a fucking 3-year-old to learn.
Yeah, the more and more I think about it, this guy's actually strange, bro. Nah, because if you think about it, he's like trying to visibly show his like sexual preference to little kids.
Once again, this isn't sexual, it's more of a gender thing. But of course, Acheeto doesn't know the difference between those two things. Also gotta love the subtle implication that this guy is either a predator or supports predators. And that's much weirder than any of the things that this drag queen has said during the video. Of course, it's just more fear-mongering nonsense.
I mean, he's not really subtly implying anything, he's just outright stating that this is weird. And overall, I agree with Acheeto's points here, despite how desperate you are to demonize him just for having different beliefs than you. Also, yeah, gender identity is still intrinsically tied to your sexuality, so I have no idea what point you are trying to make by distinguishing the two right now.
Nah, that's weird. And I'm not even trying to like reach or anything. He's saying that. He's saying he wants his like queerness to be visible to the kids.
Like, what do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're gonna perform anal sex in the classroom? Perform anal sex in the classroom? What do you think? What's creepy about this? What are you talking about? You sound insane.
You know what? Yes. Yes, you do sound insane, Communist Creeper. Especially when you read that far into his statements. I mean, you said it first, not him or me. And as far as Acheeto's point goes, I'm not gonna just repeat myself ad nauseum like Creeper does, but yeah, it's a little creepy to prioritize a teacher's sexuality and gender identity over a class of elementary students.
And bro, like, that's just odd, you know? He's saying that he wants his students to know that it's okay to be queer. And you can tell them that, you know, maybe after they're past, like, I don't know, preschool? Maybe after elementary school? Like, Jesus, man.
Being queer isn't automatically sexual in the same way that being straight isn't automatically sexual. You making queerness sound like it's some kind of fetish is creepy, honestly.
For the last time, gender identity and sexuality are intrinsically tied together. Your attempts to demonize Acheeto for holding a different belief than you and defend the prioritization of the teacher's sexual expression over the actual classroom of elementary children is far creepier than anything you've tried implying throughout this entire video.
They're a gay kid, you know. You don't. I guess you could just never wear your wedding ring in the classroom because that's just showing it off to children.
This may be one of the dumbest strawmans of the entire video. Wearing a wedding ring and dressing in drag are not fucking comparable. One means you are married and doesn't even express sexuality. The other literally plays off of gender identity and sexuality. Jesus Christ, you are fucking hopeless.
Also, 9-year-olds could have crushes. They have a slight understanding, and it's best to actually explain things to them, not just pretend that nothing exists.
A 9-year-old having a crush is also a terrible comparison to the teacher dressing up in drag, and just a terrible example in general. Kids have crushes, they don't really go any deeper than that, nor do you need to explain everything about drag or LGBTQ in general to those kids as a result.
You gotta stop telling these kids their sexuality is valid, as if kids, like 3 from 9, are thinking about doing sex at all.
No one ever talked about children having intercourse. You're the one who brought that up. What is wrong with you? Perform anal sex in the classroom?
You seriously cannot be this unself-aware. You've been literally trying to argue against Acheeto this entire video as if he were saying as such, and the moment he actually makes the argument, you pull this retarded card. When you were also literally the first one to have brought it up in this video. I mean this with every fiber of my being. Please, just stop doing YouTube, because my fucking god, you are too stupid for your own good.
And it goes both ways. If some teacher is telling his 3-year-olds to 9-year-old kids, like, hey, kids, it's good and okay to be heterosexual, it's good and okay to be active with the opposite sex, I'd be like, whoa, yeah, that's weird.
He literally just finds gay people weird. Okay, there's nothing left to say about this man. He's just very open about his bigotry, but then at the very same time, he tries to deny it. What is wrong with this insane person?
Of course, at the very last second, you play the absolutely dumbest card you could have, when Acheeto is describing how he isn't just weirded out by this because the person is gay, but rather he just thinks sexuality being expressed to kids of that age in general, regardless of if it's straight, gay, or whatever, is just weird to him. But you try to Uno reverse that on him like, nuh-uh, you just openly hate the LGBTQ. Like I said in my last statement, just get off YouTube, because you are far too fucking stupid for this platform. I mean, you barely even understood Acheeto throughout this entire video, used every chance you could to twist his words and demonize him, and at the very last second just outright show your own bias against him. Just grow the hell up already, like goddamn. I'm sorry guys, that video was very beyond fucking stupid. I know it's out of the realm of my usual topics, and I really try to stray away from topics like this because they tend to get touchy and always devolve into politics. But at the same time, I just couldn't couldn't resist dunking on Communist Creeper like this because, well, I mean, you guys already saw for yourselves just how dumb he is. But with all of that being said, there's no more to his video besides his dumb outro, so it's about time I start wrapping up my video. So, big ups for watching it, and especially if you guys made it this far in, y'all are the real ones, and I really appreciate the hell out of you guys. And you know, maybe subscribe for some more quality therapy, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.